What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 100 of 2025, which is our final episode of the year, where we're going to talk about 2025 and go through our top 15 albums of the year and talk about some other stuff. You have myself, I'm Rich. Find me at X at Fuzzdoom Rip. All the socials at rich.pive as a reviewer for Newspedia Metal and the Doom Charts contributor. And Turbo, what's going on?
I will not be visiting anybody's houses on the 25th.
All right. 26th,
No,
maybe? All right. Oh,
I don't want no milk
um,
and cookies.
we're happy to have Rob in the Hood back with us to do our year-end list. Rob when I make the time for everybody to do our quarterly lists, Rob joins us and talks about it. He is a astute mind of all things rock and roll, and we're excited to have him on the show. Rob, what's up?
That's a lot of pressure, man. I don't know.
We'll see how your list goes. We'll talk after. So we're going to do a top 15. We're not going to have you listen to the show for 2.5 hours to get through it. We'll try not to. But what I will say is that this year, again, was an amazing year for new music. I myself did a top 150 of the year and a top 30 EP list, which I'll be dropping after this episode drops tomorrow. We're going to talk about our top 15. But first, I know Rob and I have a few EPs that we loved as well. Rob, do you want to mention a couple of those before we get into the full lengths and define what is an EP for us on this show?
I was going to ask you how you define it. I have a hard definition of it that I don't vary from. So, from my perspective, an EP is anything under 30 minutes. And there are two albums that are at the 30-minute mark that I considered this year, and they just barely squeaked into my LP list. So 30 minutes, under 30 minutes for me is an EP. And I got a couple other qualifications on mine if you want to hear them.
Yeah, please. It's always a good debate.
There were a couple of albums. There were two that were split between half studio and half live album. And because I also generated a live album list, I basically split the album in half. And so I considered the studio half as an EP.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's the biggest qualification. Then there is one on my EP list that came from a split, so I just considered that side of the split as an EP for my list. How many do you want?
Let's do 5. and I will tell you this. There's a live in the studio record that it was considered a live record that wound up on my end of year albums list. And it was an interesting, I didn't know what to do, but it wound up there. We'll talk about that later. Give me your 5 top EPs of the year.
Okay. Well, the number 5, I've got A Malign Star by Bloodhorse, Boston, Massachusetts band. That one I learned about from Trav, right? I think he was the one that was like pushing that one, and it was released from the band after a long period of silence. And it's one of those things where it's like on the longer end of EPs. It's like approaching LP territory.
Yeah.
And there's stuff on there where I start listening to it. I think this is pretty cool. And then as it goes along, it gets better and better as you progress through the songs. And there is some straight out Metallica, like 80s Metallica sounding stuff on there as far as like the instrumentation is concerned. Good album, I think.
I dig it. I actually made my full 150 as a full length, actually.
Okay.
Because I think it was like 28 minutes, and I go 28 minutes for full length. So.
So that's your definition?
Yeah.
I think you have an agenda in your definition, because I think you define it because you want to include something.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Number 4 is Manta Ray by Manta Ray.
Oh, 4.
Neighbors of Turbo. Really, really dug that car that he had in his interview with you. Another great one. Number 3 was one that made it into I think it was my third quarter list as a full consideration. And that's half of a split. It's Inertia by I Am Low. There's one song on there that just kills me. It didn't make my top 5 songs list, but it's definitely a killer album. Number 2, I thank you for this one, Rich. End Times Are Good Times by Ultra Death Cult.
Mm-hmm.
Wish it was longer. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, but I listened to it one day when I was driving to work. I was like, man, this thing just kills. I
The
was,
filthiest riffs that you'll
yeah,
hear the whole
yeah,
year. I love that. I can't wait to hear more from those guys. And we had them on the show, and yeah, can't wait to hear more from
yeah.
that band.
Yeah, if they get a full length out, I'll be really happy about that. Number one on my EP list was Lost in Light by Tumble, from Toronto. And that's another one where it gets close to the LP range. And I wish that was a longer one too. I love the kind of like 70s-ish sound of the guitars on the album.
Yeah.
Really strong stuff. I want to hear more from them, that's for sure.
Let's go through my top 5 EP list. Number 5 was More Bear, our friends from Oregon. Love that EP, kind of psyche doom. Hope that we do hear some stand-up bass on their next record. Shout out to those guys. Number 4 was the Blue Heron Emulations EP. This was one that we didn't really know what to do with just because it had some live, had some covers, had some new. So I threw it in the EP list, but anything Blue Heron rules. So that's where I had it, number 4. Number 3, I had Psalm, In Darkness Have Mercy, band out of Las Vegas/LA. Can't wait to hear more from those guys. They're playing at Hufferfest in Denver. For anybody who's listening, interested in that and wants to go see them along with a whole other really great bands, Blue Heron too. Number 2, Ultra Death Cult. I had those filthy dirty riffs at number 2. Again, can't wait to hear. And number 1, Chet and the guys from Manta Ray. That EP, I don't know. The sound of that EP is just ridiculous. I don't know what he did to make it sound like that. He did tell us some of those things that he does to make it sound like that. But I just love that EP. It's on constant rotation for me, and one that probably would have been in my top 15 of the year if it was a full length record. That's how much I love that.
Yeah, it was high on my quarter list.
All right. So let's hop into our top 15. Turbo has not spoken yet. So we're going to go and start with Turbo. Turbo, what do we got for number 15?
Is going to be Hibernaut Obsidian's Eye. Is that right? Obsidian Eye? Hibernaut.
That is correct. It's
love this album.
Very good choice.
It's heavy and metally.
Heavily metally. Wonderful.
I think that's the album that inspired you to start that.
Started my
what are your favorite songs with bells? Thread.
It did, because I love that song Obsidian Eye. It just has the bells in it, and it's just killer.
Yeah. I actually had it's my number 16. It just missed the list.
Pretty cool album art too.
Yeah. Very cool guys. Spent a lot of time with us on the show, and fun follows on Instagram as well. Excellent choice at number 15, Turbo. Just missed for me, but I'm glad that it is on your list. Rob, we'll go to you for number 15.
You really want to start with me that way because you're going to give me grief for this. I suspect. This number 15 is the one that I lamented was one of the bands that was in my contention for Song of the Year, and I got pushed out of my top 12 when we were talking about that. So at number 15, I have Diminishing Returns by Gazillionaire.
All right, you can cut him off
band.
But I mean, I think we can all agree that it does have the Song of the Year on that record. Or very close to.
Yeah, I would agree that it has a song that is a righteous contender for Song of the Year. Third Street Shuffle is a bitchin' song. But it also has a song that I really don't care for at all. This is what inspired me to ask both of you earlier. How much weight do you put on one song? Because this one had one that really pulled it up and then one that dragged it back for me.
I that song is a polarizing track on the record. I think Turbo and I have that on our list. The interesting thing about that record is that Turbo and I talked to the band in November of last year, and we got to hear the record, and it was already anointed like a top album of the year for 2025 before the year even started. So it'd be interesting to see for Turbo and I, especially where that one falls. But 15's low. 15's low. We'll just go with that. For me, album number 15 is Rat King by Holy Roller.
Mm.
Shout out to Jay and crew from Holy Roller. Came out back in June on Ripple. A huge step forward from their first record. Instrumentation wise, songwriting wise, and yeah, I talk with Jay a lot, and Jay is starting to really infuse his love of like post-hardcore, Quicksand, Helmet, that stuff into the band, and you can hear that, and that's like that jumps out to me. So, Holy Roller Rat King is my number 15, and plus the album cover looks like the Trash King from Fraggle Rock, and that always makes me happy to look at
Yeah,
that
another
album cover.
this one I was making a short list of albums that I would consider for like album art of the year. This was on that list.
Yeah, love it. So Holy Roller Rat King number 15 for me. Turbo 14.
All right. I will say that, initially we thought we were just going to do 12, and then you mentioned doing 15 today. So these 13, 14, and 15 were kind of thrown in. Not that they're not solid albums that I had trouble thinking of. It's just some might think this is a little low. Lorquan's Admiral, their self-titled album. I love this album. It's great sounding album. I was hoping that it would get more notification or people would notice it more. I mean, it's talking. You got superstars all over it. You got
Yeah.
desert royalty all over it. Dave's guitar playing on it is awesome.
The funny part about that is Dave didn't want to have his name on the record, and he doesn't really. There, you look at the pictures, you look at the people in the album. He didn't want his kind of stuff to be a distraction for what the record is.
Well,
Yeah, it's a great one.
It's great.
Yeah, no, it's great, and it has one of my top 3 songs on it. We'll be talking more about this record later, I can guarantee you. But yes, it's really, really good, and it was a huge surprise of how good it was. Excellent choice at number 14, Turbo, if not a little low in my opinion. Rob, 14?
14 is another band that you guys have interviewed. Well, they sound like they were like, I picture these guys as being like music students who met and decided to put out great stuff together. And I know that they've had some relocation, but kept going through it. And that's the album is Ken by Mooch.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been really productive over the last 3 years. And I really dig all their stuff. They've been continuously strong on all their material. And I know that at least one of them moved to Yellowknife. Is that where he went?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's there are multiple Black Throne albums that show up in my overall master list for the year. They're putting out some good stuff this year.
Black Throne is on fire 2025, and some stuff that we have heard and for 2026 and reissues that they're doing, the Anson Themes Cabin reissue that they did, sounds amazing. I too have Mooch Ken at number 14.
Oh, nice work.
Interestingly enough, that worked out very well. My 4th favorite song of the year is Hang Me Out on that record. And was very happy when they interviewed them, and they agreed that, and other people said that song sounds like Sloan, and I love Sloan, and that was very exciting for me. Great dudes. We used their song for a little while as the opening to our show, so love that. And 14 at Mooch is I concur. That is for all the albums that we love, to have that at the same time is we should go play Powerball. And then all of our troubles go away.
And this is the segment of agreement on the show.
As now we head into number 13, Turbo.
Number 13. I doubt that either one of you will have this on your list, but it's Ghazi. Here Comes the Good Part. I love.
You love that stuff.
Yeah,
I know.
I love glam rock. And I think this is his strongest output yet. It's If you love glam rock, if you like that 70s style of glam rock stuff, they do that very well.
I think it's, the only thing I don't like about what they're doing is it's not available physically enough. I've got a couple of CDs from them, but they really seem to be focusing on the digital output.
I need to spend more
Yeah,
time.
that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But I do have the latest one on album.
I didn't even know it was available.
Didn't I show you that? Didn't I tell you when I was having problems with the orange things, my water enhancer, my orange blast, that it was shooting out in different directions? That his
Yeah.
album was right there, and I splattered the album with orange blast, and now it's got orange stuff all over it, which kind of enhances the album. But
You made your own
yeah,
splatter. Good work. That's a variant.
but yeah,
I need to spend
I
more
had to
time.
go through. It wasn't available on Bandcamp, I don't think. I had to go through the website and find,
Okay.
or maybe I got an email on it or something.
Yeah, that's something I would be interested in grabbing.
Yeah.
My love of T-Rex makes me think I would need to spend more time
Yeah.
there. So excellent.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear
More I listen to it, yeah, it
ones.
gets, yeah. If on surface level, you might think it's pretty shallow, but it's not. It's very deep.
That's excellent. 13, Rob.
13 is not quite your old neck of the woods, but it's getting closer to the vicinity from upstate New York. I really dig the nasty, ragged blues of Black Tongue Reverend, Upstate of Mind. Great sound in this album. I love like the sort of storytelling approach that a lot of the songs seem to have. I really wish they'd put that live album that they did
We
out
tried.
on physical format.
We asked him.
Yeah. Great raw bluesy tone. Really dig the groove on the songs. Strong album.
Dig it. Made my top 40. Really, really great. My favorite part of the interview is when we said, "What do you listen to?" And he's like, "I don't listen to music."
Yeah.
That was a great part of the episode. And we actually, Turbo and I recommended them to Wino when we had Wino and Shirley on the show, because they're from up that way now. So hopefully they got to check them out. Excellent choice. Love that one as well. My 13 was Turbo's 14, Lorquin's Admiral, self-titled record. Could Have Been Forever is one of my top 4 songs of the year. Love that. Love that it's kind of end to end, quickly goes. You can listen to it like 4 times and not feel like any time has passed. Love the husband and wife dynamic on this record. There's a lot. It's like, and without even having talked to them, but just you can hear the connection between those two on this one. And I think it kind of takes that record to the next level. So number 13, Lorquin's Admiral, is my choice. Turbo and I thinking along the same lines there. Now we're into our top 12, which is what we originally agreed to do, but then I moved it to 15 because I like to make things interesting and longer, obviously. Turbo, 12.
Is one that is a very strong album that I kind of forgot about, but I did listen to it a lot, and I listened to it over the past couple of days. And that's Rainbows Are Free, Silver and Gold. It came out, back in March. It's a solid album that, I don't know. A lot of these people just make me wish I could see them live.
Yes.
I wish I could see them live.
I watched a couple of clips, and we talked to Rishi from Rainbows Are Free, and then I watched a couple of their clips. Their lead singer is a gigantic man. Like, have you seen, like, he's like 12 foot tall, I think. So it'd be a very interesting show. And I know that this one's probably not on Rob's list because I think he was a little adverse to the keys that are on here. But we'll be talking more about the Rainbows Are Free record a little bit later on. So we'll wait on that. Excellent choice at number 12, Turbo. Rob, number 12.
Number 12 is the first appearance of a Small Stone album on my list, and it won't be the last one on this list.
Mhm.
Bands from Portugal, the Miss Lava album, Under a
Mm,
Black
yeah.
Sun. Um, this was one earlier in the year, and when I first listened to it, I think what really endeared me to it was the first time I listened to it was the vinyl. And I discovered that when my first listen is the vinyl, it tends to make me bond with the music more. And somewhere around, like right around when I flipped over to side two, I'm thinking, boy, this is a top contender for the year. And for a long time, I thought maybe it was going to be my number one album. Obviously, a lot of really strong stuff came out over the year. Um, it's not short. It's the songs are interesting, intricate, great musicianship. Love it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a very good
it's
album. Didn't make my list, but
it's
it's a
a
very good album.
yeah. I don't. It made my top list that I'll put out. It's definitely mentioned, but it didn't wasn't that high, and it's not because it's not great. I think it was just because it just got kind of overlooked for me. But this is a good way when we have these conversations that I can kind of go back and you know see what I should spend more time with. I'm going to do my number 12 now, and my number 12 is the perfect example of how awesome 2025 was because this band is this low on my list. Um, it is Astro Voyage Volume 1 by Kal-El.
Whoa!
I know, I know, I know. I sat and stared at my list for hours, like, how do I have Kal-El this low? And I mean, that's how much I love the records that are ahead of this. It could have been anywhere between 1 and
Hmm.
12. Um, I don't know. Kal-El is awesome, and Kal-El is probably my favorite band in this genre. When you look at the whole body of work, um,
It's
not
like
because I don't love it, but
I feel like I don't even know you now.
I know it's weird. It's a weird. I mean, you'll see as we go through some of the other things that I have on the list, but again, Kal-El is awesome.
We'll
It could have been
disagree
number
with
one. It
you as
could
we
have been
go
any
along.
number. Yeah, you will. But anyway, love you guys, Kal-El. But and there's no buts. I mean, I listened to 800 albums this year, and it's number 12 out of all of those. But yeah, Astro Voyage Volume 1. Can't wait for Volume 2 coming out this year. And I have like 8 different versions of Volume 1. So like, give me a break. Anyway, Kal-El.
It is a year of strong releases.
Yeah, it was really tough for me to do that, but and also a couple snuck in at the last minute too that made things adjust. So anyway, Turbo 11.
11 is an album that I really didn't know I listened to that much until Spotify let me know that it was my number one album I listened to of the year. And that's Scorpion Child. I saw the end as it passed right through me. I don't know if a lot of people overlooked this or didn't appreciate what they did. You know, I wanted it to sound more like their other albums or what, but it's a very strong album as well. Um, Maybe it's a little different than their normal sound. I don't know. What do y'all think?
I too love that album. It didn't make the top. It was in my top 30, um, but it's killer, and I still listen to it a lot today. But again, that's indicative of how awesome this year was.
I love that story when they were talking to you guys about how what was it the bass that gave out during one song and they just kept going until they got the issue fixed. Yeah, that's what I love about live stuff.
Great choice, Turbo. What do you got for 11, Rob?
Well, okay, I already said that apparently I don't know you, but maybe you don't know me either because number 11 I have Silver and Gold by Rainbows Are Free.
Oh wow, I'm
Um,
shocked. I remember like your initial reaction was like, it's really good, except there's a lot of keys on it.
yeah, well, I will confess that my reaction I learned about the presence of the keys before I heard the album from you guys, and it made me very suspicious going in. But then when I listened to it, I'm like, okay, I don't hate it. And my obviously I'm not the fan that you are of keys, and organ is cool. Like Hammond organ is cool. Rhodes piano is cool. Synthesizer stuff ain't my thing. But when I listened to this, I was like, okay, it doesn't detract from it. And it, as I kept ranking albums, I was like, no, I don't like that better. And so here we are.
strangely, my 11 is Rainbows Are Free also. This is weird. We have two that are exactly alike, but I too love that record. It's got like this weird franticness to it that it feels like this controlled chaos when I listen to it. Just a great band, and this is a step up for them. And Ripple, of course, is doing amazing things as usual with the bands that they sign. Um, yeah, number 11 for me. Also, Rainbows Are Free. Stop copying me, Rob. We're into the top 10. I'm pretty sure that my number 10, I don't think any of you guys have, but we'll see. We'll see. Turbo, what do you got for 10?
Mooch Ken is my top 10. I know when this album came out, I couldn't stop listening to it. I loved it. Love it, still love it. But yeah, and we stole, borrowed, clipped, whatever. That cool. Honored. Thank you.
Yeah, honored is right. Yes, we could have chosen any song to have as the opening, right? Great choice. Again, another one that I think could have been anywhere in like 4 to 15. Great choice in your top 10, Turbo. Rob, number 10.
Number 10 is the first mention of a band that I have seen live. And it's another one from Turbo's neck of the woods, and it's Crucible and Ruin by Howling Giant. And I think that my appreciation for the album was greatly enhanced because I had already seen the band live, and I have seen, and boy, his name has escaped me, the guy who does the vocals and plays guitar. He is a real talent, and I would like to ask him more about the guitar that I saw him playing, because it was a little bit of an unusual guitar, and he just gets an amazing sound out of the thing. And there's nothing about the band, listening to it, that really makes me think of Blue Oyster Cult, but when I watched him sing and play, it makes me think about Buck Dharma, who is like this secret weapon of Blue Oyster Cult. He clearly is a phenomenal artist in many ways. It's a really great album.
Tom would appreciate that. I think we had those guys on the show, and generally speaking, everybody says they're like the nicest band in the world. They are very cool people. I love that record too. And again, indicative of how amazing this year is, it was my number 18. And I listened to that album a lot. But it's so great. I am with you. My number 10 is something I don't think you guys are going to have. It's Museum of Light, Diviner. It just like it checks all of my 90s post-hardcore kind of shoegazy, big sounding boxes that I need to have checked. I think it sounds like nothing else that is on my list, which I think is very cool. And Museum of Light is excellent. I love that record, and it's even grown more and more on me, I think, as time's gone on. So
yeah, that's
Diviner by Museum of Light.
That's a record that I was surprised I liked so much. And now that you mention it, I'm kind of sad that it's not on my list. Because it's different, A lot of times we get accused of listening to the stuff that all sounds the same over and over and over again. But we do listen to some stuff that's a little, different. Some stuff comes from way out there, but
Museum of Light, Diviner. If people have not heard it, go check it out. It's a good one. Turbo, we're in the single digits now. What do you got for 9?
Dune Sea, new wave of cosmic heavy metal. I love this album. I don't know if it gets much listens from anybody else out there, but yeah, I love it. It's psychedelic. It's a little spacey. Don't really have much that would fit into the spacey aspect of, or the cosmic aspect of what I listen to. I've only got another album on here that probably falls into that.
Interesting. I don't think I've spent enough time with Dune Sea. I need more time. I feel like this one has not been on my radar at all.
I remember seeing you mention it and talk about it, but I don't think I've listened to it.
No, love it.
Time to change that, I guess.
Yeah, it is absolutely time to change it. Excellent choice. Good job,
And
Turbo.
that lets me
Again,
know
we're
that you all haven't been listening to my playlist because I have used several songs.
Well,
I
one of
don't
us
think
has
we're the target for the playlist, though, right?
one of us is a streaming anti force.
Yeah. Rob, what do you have as we head into the single digits for you?
I think this is, let me double check here. Yeah, my number 9 is the only heavy psych sounds record that I have on the list. Um, and it is so if I think about this in like maybe in turbo terms, like it's like there's like this great existing recipe. And you taste it and you think, boy, this is like a classic. It tastes really good, but I bet something could spice it up just a little more. Maybe something like saffron, and in this case, the saffron is Tony Reed.
Mm.
Lightning in a Bottle by Pentagram is my number 9. And I really, every time I start listening to it, I think I can't have this that high on the list, and then by the end of the record, I'm like, I have to have it that high on the list.
Interesting. I do dig it, but I think it's mostly Tony that I dig. I don't know. Like, it's not something I've gone back to a lot, but maybe I need to. It did make my 150 list. But hey, maybe I need to go back and revisit. But anything Tony Reed does
Yeah,
seems to,
yeah.
whether it's producing, recording, engineering, playing guitar on, and or releasing. I don't know if you guys saw the old Moss Generator live record that just dropped, but
It arrived at my doorstep yesterday.
yes, I can't wait to spin that. All right, cool. Number 9. This one I listened to probably as much as anything else this year, but it's Bear by Friendship Commanders.
Mm.
Had Buick and Jerry on the show. Very, very cool people. The sound that the two of them make, just two people make, is both raw and there's just so much to it. And it's like the most real record. I don't know how, there's just such a realness about what those guys do. On Magnetic Eye, um, love her songwriting and her lyrics, and very happy to say that I'm going to get to see them and Temptress in a co-headlining bill, maybe twice. They're within an hour, 2 different directions, so I might go twice. The Temptress album will be on this list when we're doing this call in 2026, just for anyone's FYI. But anyway, Friendship Commanders, Bear, number 9 for me. Love it.
Cool.
Number 8, Turbo.
I will say that opening song on the new Temptress is really, really good.
Yeah. Wait till you hear the whole thing.
I have heard the whole thing. You gave it to me.
You have heard? I did. Yeah, you have heard the whole thing. It's friggin' awesome.
Number 8, Ox, AAWKS. I know I told them I wanted to pronounce it AA Wicks, but their album Sky Maze is another album that I'm kind of surprised I like so much, but I find it is a very fun album. It may not be what they were wanting this to come across as, but to me, it's it's heavy. It's got the bass players doing the growly voices, and the singers kind of just to pauses that. Is that right?
Yeah, that was correct. Yes, absolutely.
And it's just got a killer groove to it and everything, man. I love this album.
It was my number 31. Again, crazy of how great of a year it was. But when we talked to them, I was expecting like this heavy psych record, like just mind bending record. Next thing you know, they're just crushing you with that record. It's super heavy, and I really dig that one. Ox, and I always think I'm saying it wrong. So I think I overpronounce it when I say it now. But anyway, good choice. Excellent choice. Number 8, Rob, what do you got?
Number 8 is from Spain. And I know that you have an issue with the cover song that's on the album. But Trouble in Time by Zalman Grass is overall really good. I mean, how many different ways can you say really good and not just repeat yourself? It is instrumentally interesting. There are a lot of complex things within the album that are rather subtle. I think it's an album that kind of begs to be listened to on headphones.
Mm.
And the songwriting is quite strong. I mean, it really pleased me to see such a strong release on the heels of their last album, which was also a really strong release. I love that when you have like keep pushing forward and making great stuff. So, Trouble in Time by Zalman Grass.
Yeah, I try it's hard to get past the cover. I really like it too, but it was really hard to get past that cover. It's my second least favorite cover of the year with whoever did that terrible cover of Sex and Candy.
But
And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sorry to whoever did that. I'm sorry. I don't remember what band did
but
it, but it was Foot, right, it was Foot. Oh gosh, just no, just this is when you need to edit. Anyway, the Foot album was good though, but, my number 8, and I had, this is my yeah, in 2022, my list got all jacked up when, Moth Generator put out Time Wounds in, December, and I had to move everything around to make sure that that got in there. This year, the same thing happened for me with the self-titled record from Bygone
mm,
that it, it's awesome. It's like um, it has serious Kiss vibes. Talk to Chris, and we both like geeked out on the Elder, which again like makes me very happy. And there's some of that vibes. Don't go into this thinking you're going to hear the Elder because you're not, but it's just like awesome, like just like 70s rock and roll with amazing keyboard work, like amazing stuff. Um, didn't even realize that Chris was in the band Magic Circle. Really, another really killer doom band, but this is different. This is like Kiss, Uriah Heep, Grand Funk, all sorts of stuff. Anyway, Bygone, awesome. It just made up me laugh when we said, "Oh, it sounds like Paul Stanley, but the singer is actually Ace in a Kiss cover band," which is kind of funny.
Before
Um,
I heard you say any of that, I thought it sounded like Kiss
yeah,
when I first.
there's a lot of people who say that. I
I
don't know.
think they
There's one song that sounds very much like Kiss, like the song that mentions City. I'm
see the
forgetting the
lights.
title. Yeah, yes, and but like I don't know if it sounds like Kiss. Like, Tim,
Initially,
what were you gonna
yeah, I
say? I'm
think, but
sorry.
the more you listen to it, the more it that fades away. You listen to it initially and think, "Oh man, this guy sounds Paul Stanley, whatnot." But the more you keep listening to it, all that stuff kind of fades, and you just realize this is just a solid rock band that worshipped uh, what we talked about late '70s music that doesn't really get talked about, Uriah Heep and UFO, and that period where they put out some pretty decent music, but a lot of people haven't heard it. So yeah, and then they talked about like in the early '80s where it's that period of time where people are trying to find the sound. You're going from the '70s to the '80s before the '80s in like '83, '84 when everybody comes together with their music that kind of defines the rest of the decade, and how it defines the whole genre of metal right now on out, you know?
That was a great discussion that we had with him because he is like a student of just like heavy metal and rock and roll. I don't know, Rob, if you heard that one yet, but
I did. I actually, and between your conversation with him and the fact that he like espoused love for Blue Oyster Cult, I was like, okay, I'm going to give his record another chance. And I ended up buying it right after listening to the episode. And I like it more than I did when I gave it an initial cursory listen at first. I'm still not sold on all the key stuff like you are. Although this is it the last song that has that Fender Rhodes piano sound on it? That's a good keyboard sound there. I like that.
yeah. So
Mhm.
bygone, and Chris is going to come do the Blue Oyster Cult show with us because he
Sweet.
is the Blue Oyster Cult like guru apparently. So, and he loves the stuff that like nobody else loves, which
Yeah,
is
I like the fact that he mentioned stuff after Albert left the band, because there is definitely some good stuff in there that doesn't get quite the attention as the rest does.
very cool. We're in the top 7. Turbo, what do you got?
Hog, Black Hole.
Oh,
I love this.
At 7?
Yeah. Bite me. Um,
Don't ask where I have it.
yeah, man, it's a solid debut album. It did kind of get pushed down because of what I feel is stronger above it. But yeah, this is as Rob would say, it's really great.
We'll be talking more about that album in a little while. Rob, what do you got at 7?
Number 7's another Ripple release. It's Ouroboros by Baracho. Man, they're really good at riffs, and the energy behind Vegas Baby, the first song on the album, really gets me. God, I love it. I love it when there's a beat, and I think it's like going into, I don't know if you call it a chorus or not, but he hesitates on the beat and doesn't lose the beat as the song's going on, but it all, you can tell how tight they are as a band because they all hit it just so. I mean, I know it's a studio album, but you can feel that they're together, and man, does that really do it for me. So Baracho.
Really great band, and it didn't make this list, but it's definitely in the top half of my other list for sure. I know. Because I love Sidonia Mensa by Dead Shrine, because everything Craig Williamson does, I think, is amazing, and Dead Shrine is just a band to me that yeah, I love Dead Shrine. Um, th- the record before this one, I think was number 2 when it
Forgot
came
all
out
about
for
this
me.
album. Shit.
Uh, um, after kind of spending a lot of time with Dead Shrine, I dove into the Craig Williamson discography and all his bands, and it's all just great. In everything that he does. The Eightfold Path was the record before this one. Um, and this one might even be better that's saying a lot. So yeah, Dead Shrine is my number 7. Turbo, we're in the top 6. What do you got?
Hmm. Upset because I forgot that album. Another band I don't think has gotten much talk about is the Ventries. Their album Silver Veins. This is another album I couldn't stop listening to once I first heard it. It's another one that I think falls into the cosmic psychedelic field more than the others do. It's kind of like if I can't think of anything else to listen to, I'll throw this on. You know, it's great. I don't like to call it background music, but it's like great calming music or whatnot. I mean, it's a great rock and roll record.
Excellent. I plan on pre-ordering that. It's a good one. I dig it. Rob, number 6.
Number 6 was one that I had on a quarter list. And I think when I mentioned it, you said, I didn't know you liked that one that much. Uh, it is an album that when I first listened to it and I looked at the label that was releasing it, and I thought, is this like some sort of lost gem that the label dug up? Because it sounds like something that could have come from a different era. And the band is Dusty Rose Gang, A1 from Day One. My only quibble about the entire album is it's not long enough. It qualifies as an LP for me, but I every time I listen to it, I think, man, it's over already. Great 70s sounding guitars, not a lot of effects on everything, just strong songwriting. Really catchy stuff.
It you would not be too far off thinking that Riding Easy found some random 70s record and put
Yeah.
it out, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a really great record. Number 6 for me is I think the most traditional doom record of the year, but not a copycat of anything. Anyway, it's Alpha 1128 by Cattle Mass. Um, the sound that he's able to get, I think it almost sounds like a perfect sound to me. There are 2 records out of my top 15 that to me sound perfect. And Cattle Mass Alpha 1128 is one of those two records. Um, and this is I mean, it's a debut. And two of my actual top six are debut, three of my actual top six are debuts, which is kind of crazy. But I see big things for Cattle Mass. I'm seeing them open for a lot of really great bands as you follow them on Instagram. And I dig the vibe too that they got going on. So Cattle Mass Alpha 1128 is my number 6. We're in the top 5. What's up, Turbo, for 5?
I would have had that Cattle Mass and Bygone were both on my quarterly fourth quarter list top 10. So I left them off of this because I figured we'd be talking about them too much. So yeah, too bad.
We'll go with that.
My
We'll go with that.
number 5 is Winds of Neptune, their self-titled album. Yeah, I've missed the singer. I really need to memorize people's names and stuff. But the guy from 500 Foot of Pipe, which was a great band back in the early 2000s, it's great to hear his voice again. This is a very killer album of just straight up stoner rock.
Ross Westerber.
Sure.
Is that him?
I think I should do better as much as I bitch about shit.
When I was looking them up, definitely on my list, not on this list, but some of the bands that they played were very interesting. I think one of them was in the Mentors or the Meatmen. The Meatmen. One of them was in the Meatmen, and I thought that was a really weird kind of connection. But then it all makes sense when you look at it. But yeah, Winds of Neptune, another small stone band. Good stuff. Rob, what do you got in your top 5?
Number 5. Well, first of all, let me bitch for a moment about the tariff shit. Because you know what? I actually despise talking about politics in most circumstances, but when it impacts music, it really aggravates me a great deal. And as my cat and my dog get into a fight right here next to me, they're angry too about the tariffs. Um, when you have, I suppose, when you have fungible goods, assuming protectionism is your goal, and fungible goods are the circumstance where maybe tariffs make some sort of sense for somebody in the country. But music is not fungible. It's all different. And one artist can't be exchanged for another. That's the beauty of it. And all you're doing is making it hard on the listeners and the artists themselves, who aren't any political threat to you, I don't think. And the length of time it took to get this record, I think, is probably related to some of the bullshit that we've seen going on. So that's the end of my political rant. My number 1, my pick for song of the year is on this album. It's When Gods Know Why by Carson. 16 times. I was afraid we weren't going to get it. It took quite a long time, and it actually made me change my process to where I considered it, because I considered it for a quarter list before I ever even came close to getting the physical album. The song Only for the Scorn is my pick for song of the year. It kicks ass.
Carson. Love Carson.
I do love that song.
Yeah, that's a great song. Definitely made my end of year list, but not on this one. I think I need more time with it. I think I was waiting for the vinyl. And thank you for the rant on tariffs. The other thing just to say about that is, if you could just not order stuff the second you see it, there's a guy in your chat group who can find the US the US distributor for that. 16 times, not as much. But yeah, no, I kind of joking, but yes, get it. And thank
I may
you.
be impulsive sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit. Thank you for getting that one for me also. I'm very excited to spin it. My number 5, another debut record, is was bummed to find out the band that a couple of the people in the band that were in broke up. But my number 5, but I'm very happy where they landed. It is the debut self-titled record from Shrew. We had Selena and Rosie on the show. They were there are members of Green Seeker and Slow Goat in the band. I just love their writing, and I love their like 70s feel that they have to their songs. Great people. Can't wait to hear the Slow Goat record that comes out, that I hope is coming out this year. Miss Greenseeker, but I think we took a step forward with Shrew. So that's my number 5 for the year, the self-titled debut from Shrew. Turbo, top 4.
My fourth one is one that Rob's already mentioned. That's a solid band that always puts out something good, and that's Baracho or Boris, or however you say that. To me, they're like the AC/DC of stoner rock. They're always putting something
Riffs.
solid out. They're,
Solid, yeah.
it's, this was one that, it was like a slow burn a little bit. I don't know what I was expecting, but riffs.
You were expecting riffs and you got riffs. I really dig the record this time too. And it was interesting that they went very political on their last one. Not that they are not always have something to say. This was a little less that, but it was still a killer record for sure. Dig it. Cool. Racha. 4, Rob. What do you got?
Number 4 shows that my list is better than Rich's list. And that's because number 4 is where I have Kyle Astro Voyager, my number 1. This album has a song that was a strong consideration by me for Song of the Year, Void Cleaner. If you don't damage your eardrums while listening to that song, you're not doing it right.
To be clear, everyone, Kal-El rules. They're probably my favorite band in this heavy underground space. Excellent choice for number 4. My number 4, Turbo mentioned earlier, that's Black Hole by Hog. This is one that I just would put on and just would have playing constantly. And it was this like punky, motorheady, just raw, sometimes thrashy thing that just like crawled out of the gutter. So that's my number 4. Black Hole by Hog. Shout out to Riding Easy, who also had a really great year, again, with both their reissues and with their bands, new bands that they put out. The last couple of years with Magic Potion, just a lot of really great stuff that they put out. We're into the top 3. Turbo, number 3.
Number 3 is one that I thought was never going to get released. I was like, why is this taking so long to get here? That's Pale Horse Ritual. Diabolic Formation. I love this album. It's a great, solid, hard rock, heavy rock, whatever. Very.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one might have been higher on my overall list if I had gotten it sooner. I haven't had enough time with it, I don't think.
Yeah. Turbo and I were lucky to get the digital very early. And it was,
and I wore it out and I was like, isn't this out already?
Yeah, we had it like 4 months early. Like we had it very early in the process. Yeah. And then it was like a whole new thing when the vinyl came. Anyway, great choice at your number 3, Rob. Number 3.
Number 3 for me is one that I suspect that neither of you have left on your lists. I know that Turbo, around the time it came out, complained that it was a little too Pink Floyd-y. It's Damned to the Depths by CD Jesus. I'm a huge fan of the band. I'm a huge fan of the guitar. The Hollow Earth, which was the live album that came out, is it 2 years ago now? Was my favorite live album from that year. And I just think his guitar playing is outstanding. I get lost listening to that album.
I do like that. I do like that album a lot. And
sing
that one song, Morning Sea, I think is part 3, is the one that's really Pink Floyd-ish.
Yeah, it is. I don't argue with what you said about it, but I definitely hear it. But I dig it.
Pink Floyd. My number 3 was supposed to be my number 1 until things happened. So my number 3 is Diminishing But Returns by Godzillionaire. I don't know, man. It's just 90s goodness in every capacity. And I loved Paw when Paw was out. Love everything Godzillionaire has done. And this record is just a kind of a next level thing for them. They have a split coming out in 2026, from what I hear, with another band that we all love. So can't wait to hear what that's all about. one of my top 4 songs of the year. I probably would it's probably my number 2 favorite song of the year. Just great stuff, and if this came out in 1994, it probably would have been a top 20 record,
Mhm.
on the charts. But we're lucky enough to have Godzillionaire now. So, it was not an end-to-end for me this year, for an album of the year, which it has been a couple of times, but, number 3, Godzillionaire. Diminishing Returns, Turbo. Top 2, what's up?
Kal-El, Astral Voyager Volume 1. Those are good.
The shame bell is being rung at me. Shame.
Solid, heavy. I can't really say anything else, other than what you all have said. It's
And
just
Kal-El rules.
rolls over you, man. It is
Mm.
heavy shit.
And nothing
Yep.
sounds like them,
No.
right? No, I mean, just Kal-El sounds like Kal-El, and I think you can't have a better compliment than, when you can say a band sounds like that band, and Kal-El is that band. Love Kal-El. Number 2 is Turbo's Kal-El, and mine was 12, but I still love Kal-El. Rob, what is your number 2?
Well, let me steal something that you just said. My number 2, I thought was going to be my number 1 for the longest time, and it just changed recently. It made me start thinking about the effect of primacy and recency on the list. And I changed the way I do my list this year. And I tried to rank everything, and it caused me to revisit stuff that was from earlier in the year, so I wouldn't forget about things that wouldn't fade from memory. But then again, at the end of the year, you get stuff that hits you in the face, and sometimes it's hard to ignore that. So my number 2 is Shrew by Shrew. Great 70s hard rockin' vibe. Love the female vocals on it. This is I was convinced it was going to be number 1 for the longest time, and I was like sad that I had to bump it down. But yeah, that album is awesome.
I don't think I realized how much you love that record.
Yeah,
That makes me very happy because that's been one that I've yeah, it's always
yeah.
been in the top 5 for me. I just didn't know where it was gonna land.
Buddy from Glory or Death, good job.
Oh, yes, indeed. There's some really, really cool versions of that vinyl too. My number 2, Turbo was already mentioned. It's the other one of the perfect sounding records to me with Cattle Mass. It's, Diabolic Formation by Pale Horse Ritual. Evil. It's evil, 70 sounding, doomy wonderfulness. And the guitarist is in the band Cannabis, who is gonna have a record out in 2026. I've heard the single, it's out on Bandcamp now. Can't wait to hear that too. I don't have much more to say other than the Pale Horse Ritual record rules, and we have had it for so long that it's ingrained in my brain now, and then I got to spin it, like, a couple days ago when it got here, and, it's even better now. So that's my number 2, Pale Horse Ritual, Diabolic Formation. We're at our number 1 for 2025. Again, an amazing year. Again, which is we're just so lucky to have so much amazing new music. Number 1, Turbo. What do you got?
Kind of surprising that it did become my number 1, but it is a very solid album. You just discussed it. He discussed it a long time ago, and that is Godzillionaire, Diminishing Returns. It's different. Like you said, it's a 90s album. If it came out in the 90s, it would have been a lot bigger. But it's one that I listen to, and I don't know. It just fluctuates enough, it doesn't follow one speed, doesn't follow one sound. There's a lot going on, a lot of different things. There's a lot of different um way they express themselves and everything. And I'm sure, like you, Rob, there's that one song that you feel annoys
Doesn't
doesn't
reach.
Unsustainable.
touch
Yeah.
you. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
but yeah, the more I listen to it, I listened to it a lot at the beginning of the year. And then I didn't listen to it hardly any. And then so a few months ago I started listening to it, and it's just I made sure to listen to the whole album because there was like just 2 or 3 songs that I listened to. And then the more, I kept saying, well, I need to listen to this whole album. I really need to get into it. So now every time I listen to it, it's the whole album. So,
M- yeah, Mark Hennessy's writing is just such great stuff. And for those of you who might not know, Ripple is doing a repress of their record before this, Negative Balance, which is also killer. I love the newest one a little bit more, but I love the fact that they're doing a repress of Negative Balance because it's also great and one that I think got lost. So excellent choice, Turbo. Godzillionaire. We love Godzillionaire here on this show. Some more than others.
Bird Tree Shuffle is a great song.
Yeah. Rob, you're number one for the year.
Well, you've spoken twice about albums that you sound perfect, and my number one to me, the sound is absolutely perfect, and it came to me quite late. I listened to it, and my first run through, I'm like, this is my number one album. It was like no question. There are very few albums that I can point to where I think the guitar tone is absolutely perfect. I usually, when I have a discussion with somebody about what do I think sounds like the perfect guitar tone, I usually point to Humble Pie's "Rockin' the Fillmore," that like Les Paul straight into a Marshall sound and just capturing the recording just right. This album has that. I have a demonstrative aid.
mm,
This is my album of the year. No question, this is my album of the year. This album is I think I described it the other day when we were talking about it as part Blue Cheer, part Black Sabbath, part Fastway, and then you get kind of the vocal quality of Tidal Wave and like Dune Eater in it, and it is just amazing to me. And it's not short, and I love that it's not short. And the songs don't get monotonous because there are changes in them that make them interesting. And boy, does that guitar just set my eardrums on fire! And this album kicks ass.
agree.
Excellent. Yeah, it's really good. It made my list, but not what we're talking about. It's yeah, it is definitely a Rob album for sure. Like
Yeah,
I knew you were gonna love that one.
yeah.
All right. So my number one, I mean, you guys probably know what it's gonna be. I'm wearing the shirt.
Yeah, I sort of figured that was the case.
I call them. I don't call them by their name. I call them by Rich's new favorite band, Florist.
Mm-hmm.
I Adrift by Florist is their second record. And I've gotten to know the guys a little bit just by going to see them a couple of times. The band out of Tampa, and the sound that they make and what they do, it's so unique. And the magic weapon being Jer, who plays the synths and plays the theremin and all the craziness that he does. And Frankie, the lead singer, when I saw them live, he said, that's the captain of the spaceship. And it's true, because what he does, I think, makes this record as unique as it is. 2026 is going to be the year of Florist, even though my album of the year is Florist Adrift. 2026 is going to be the year of the band Florist as they become this big thing. So yeah, Adrift by Florist. Can't wait to see that on wax. Can't wait to see them on the road. And just great dudes and a great record that everyone really needs to hear. So that's it, guys. We've done our top 15. Just a shout out to a couple other records that didn't get mentioned. For me, the Wolf Tooth record, Wizard's Light, love that. Love Stone Jesus, Songs to Sun, love that record. I love the Black Honey Cult record as well. Just Velvet Underground, just worship, which makes me happy. And the Mazoa record, also 90s wonderfulness. Just a few other ones that you'll see when I drop my full list over the weekend. Actually, no, tomorrow when this episode comes out, if I feel like editing later. This will be just a couple other records. Anything else? Any other albums that you wanted to call out? Heavy Katana as well. The Warco record.
Yeah, there's a lot of albums to call out.
So many great ones that didn't make our list. Our top 15 list, but
I'll
like,
pull 3 off the
yeah.
fourth quarter list that I really enjoy that I don't really hear. Dead Wolf, Blues for the Apocalypse, is one of
Mm.
my favorite albums. It's bluesy and heavy, little folksy. It's a really solid album. I don't think a lot of people know about.
Very cool.
Palm Desert, Rays of the Gold and Grays is a really solid album.
Probably would have been higher if it came out earlier in the
Yeah.
year. I got very distracted by Bygone and by Winds of Neptune and by some other albums that came out in December.
Oh, 2. One would be the Caucasian Heavy Blues with a
Another great
lot
record.
of harmonica in that one. Really solid bluesiness. And then the one, when we talk about people sounding like other singers, Zebulon, Come Day of Reckoning, where I feel like if you wanted to know what Dee Snider sounded like singing for a doom band, then this would be the
Singing for Trouble.
Singing for Trouble.
Um,
And yeah, this would be what you want to check out.
yeah. And couple more. Year of the Cobra, that
Oh, yeah.
record,
Mm.
the Fuzz
That is
Evil
really good.
record, the Crystal Spiders record, Basque, which I was screaming about for
yeah.
all year. Again, amazing that didn't make my top 15, but that just goes to show how great this year was. Anything you wanted to mention, Rob, that we that
Yeah,
we
I
didn't
want to
mention?
mention the two that have my other 2 songs that I was considering for song of the year. One is the Wizard's Light song. I think that far and away is the best song on the album, and I swear it reminds me of The Sword. And for me, that's a good thing. I know that's not a universally
Not for
held,
everybody, but
not for everybody, but that's a really great song. And then one that kind of surprised me that I was considering for maybe I just was listening to it at the right time and it hit my mood right was the song "So Far Away" from Stonebirds, which I think is the last album from them.
yep.
And
last.
that song really just rocks hard. I also want to mention the band Evermold from Poland, which was a big surprise for me. I listened to that, and the songwriting is strong, the production is strong. There were several albums where I really just dug the production on. The Wino's album has really good production on it
Yeah,
too.
that's a very solid album.
So yeah, those are all worth checking out.
Yeah, the Black Sabbath record
yeah.
is the one that I cheated and made my list.
Okay.
So
Wow. So not only live but covers.
live covers, but live in the studio. Hexecutioner, Stone Machine Electric, Oil Barons, Sheave, Tony Reed with his Hot Spring Water project, which is, there's just so much. Grey Goo, who we talked to, if you like proggy stuff that wants to bend your mind. Ravine and Skulldozer, there are just so many bands. This episode, I'm going to drop it on Christmas Eve for you all to enjoy over the holidays, along with my top 150 of the year and my top 30 EPs. There's so much good stuff. And
yeah, you can
I'm sorry for any bands that I left
go
off.
to my Instagram, which is Turbo Kaya, Turbo KYA, and see over the past 4 weeks of December where I listed my favorite albums from each quarter, and I make playlists on Spotify and YouTube where you can hear my favorite songs from each quarter from those.
If you want to learn, listen to Turbo's playlist because he's got the ear for what we're hearing here. And I'm actually surprised. I'm not surprised at how alike our lists were, but still some good stuff too, that we all were unique with. Rob, thank you for doing this. Appreciate
You want live
it.
albums? You want live albums?
I don't. Give me a live album. Give me a live album. The problem with you and your live albums is you take like the Who releases a live album from 1971 and you consider that a live album for this year, right?
Yes, because it was previously unreleased. That's right. That's right.
Fair. Give me some live albums.
Live albums that were great this year were my number one was the Live at the Star Theater by the Hippie Death Cult.
Solid.
Great one. Made in Cuba by Sienna Root is a great live album. One that I wish was that Ripple would release on a physical version, but hasn't, is the Future Work Sessions by Ritual King. Avon Calling by Sergeant Thunderhoof is really good too. Birmingham 2024 by Taste Satanic is great too. I've got more on my list, but I'll post those individually.
And Turbo and I would probably agree that the Mos Eisley Spaceport live record is a lot of
Yeah.
fun also.
And I have changed myself for live albums. I will not insist on a physical release, and so I got the Moss Isley Spaceport. I love when I hear him tuned down to drop D, and I hear him yell "OTD" like he's in Jaws. Great. Yeah.
Oh, such great stuff. See, I mean, just so much joy that all this stuff brings us. And yeah, so thank you, Rob. Thank you for doing
Thank
this.
you.
Thank you for all you share with us musically, and how we all kind of share these bands and then go and share them with everybody else who wants to listen to it. Turbo, as always, thank you. And thank you for being the guy who really got me going with the stuff that I love now. Like you have taught me so much about this stuff prior to me diving in about 5
I
to
know
6 years ago.
stuff.
So you do know stuff. You know way more stuff than most. So thank you for that. Everyone listening, thank you for listening. Cool stuff that we're going to do next year. We're going to bring back the Rich and Turbo banter as well, hopefully, where we'll do our classic albums and stuff. But
Gonna teach Rich about
anyway,
the Scorpions.
the Scorpions, we're going to do a Glorious to Cult episode. We're going to, I don't know, we'll do all sorts of shit. So thank you guys. And congratulations to the bands who were on our list. I know that's a huge honor for you. Being a little sarcastic, a lot sarcastic. But anyway, thank you for everybody. Thank you for the bands who bring music to us. And thank you for our listeners. And happy holidays, everybody. And thank you so much. Have a great night.
Right on.
Cool.